The Sunday school lesson for April 23rd, 2023 is the bread of life. John chapter 6, verses 22 through 35. To the viewers and subscribers, welcome to my channel, The Backstory. I am Audrey. If you are new here, the agenda is as follows. I will share the backstory, read the lesson text, and offer a brief lesson summary. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. The backstory is pulled from John chapter 6, verses 16 through 21. Jesus walks on the water. When evening came, his disciples went down to the lake, where they got into a boat and set off across the lake for Capernaum. By now it was dark, and Jesus had not yet joined them. A strong wind was blowing, and the waters grew rough. The narrative continues. When they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus approaching the boat, walking on the water, and they were frightened. But he said to them, "It is I. Don't be afraid." Then they were willing to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat reached the shore where they were heading. At this point, the backstory ends and the lesson text begins. The bread of life, John chapter 6, verses 22 through 35. Time, AD 29. Place, Sea of Galilee. Golden text. Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. John chapter 6, verse 35. Verse 22. The day following, when the people which stood on the other side of the sea saw that there was none other boat there, save that one whereinto his disciples were entered, and that Jesus went not with his disciples into the boat, but that his disciples were gone away alone. Verse 23. Howbeit there came other boats from Tiberias nigh unto the place where they did eat bread, after that the Lord had given thanks. Verse 24. When the people therefore saw that Jesus was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum, seeking for Jesus. Verse 25. And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when camest thou hither? Verse 26. Jesus answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me, not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled. Verse 27. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath God the Father sealed. Verse 28. Then said they unto him, What shall we do, that we might work the works of God? Verse 29. Jesus answered and said unto them, This is the work of God, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. Verse 30. They said therefore unto him, What sign shewest thou then, that we may see and believe thee? What dost thou work? Verse 31. Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat. Verse 32. Then Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. Verse 33. For the bread of God is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world. Verse 34. Then said they unto him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. Verse 35. And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. A brief summary. The remarkable feeding in the wilderness ended with Jesus withdrawing from an adoring crowd. The next day, in the synagogue in Capernaum, Jesus held what amounted to a debriefing session concerning the miracle. He rebuked the people for following for a free meal. Jesus encouraged them to work for food that had eternal value. The true bread from heaven, though, would not be earned by works, but by faith in him whom God has sent. Yet the people were not prepared to put their trust in Jesus. Ironically, the miraculous feeding of the 5,000 was not enough for them. Moses had promised that God would raise up a prophet like Moses himself. Jesus had just provided a single meal for 5,000 men, plus women and children. Thus, Jesus had not yet proven himself greater than Moses. If Jesus really was the long awaited Messiah, he had better produce lots more bread for them. Jesus needed his audience to understand two vital truths. One, it was the Father, not Moses, who gave them the bread from heaven in the wilderness. The people did not need another Moses, they needed to turn to God. Two, God had a new kind of bread that is far better than the ancient manna, Jesus himself. The manna, although from God, fed only the people's physical body. Consequently, the ancestors died no matter how much manna they ate. Jesus could offer bread that gives eternal life to humankind, thus banishing death. Thank you so much for watching. Join me soon for the next back story. Stay safe.